Hopefully we don't crash this time. Thanks for watching Sunset Gamer Channel is back. Bring the Dark Ages live. Try this again. We tried to get earlier. Thing crashed on me, so hopefully we good for at least an hour, another hour at least, minimum. Thanks so much for watching. The sound is good. Okay, so ready to start soon. Appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, I had a live earlier. Because I couldn't do my regular sports blog today. So I went live earlier, did about an hour, then basically the live stream just crashed on me. Couldn't go live on my PS5, live on my PS5 again. So I'm hoping everything works out. I didn't mean to press that. And then my headphones are sort of shaky as well. Good. But we're going to pick up where we left off earlier. We're in chapter 2, so we're going to start there and get the rolling. And like I said, I still talk about sports and stuff. Let me type something in the chat to get it started. Alright, my mic is static in it. Trying to fix this mic. Thinking about just going with no mic. Down there. Just talk through the controller. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I did like 1 or 2 streams at night before. I don't know why at night it just seems like it works better. So we're gonna start this where we left off on the stream. I'm sorry, I mean, you might hear some background noise here and there. My brother is right here with me, so I apologize for that. Yeah, we really got the shredder and the combat shotgun, but we'll get more weapons as the game progresses. Like I said, I got to talk a little bit about the AFC South earlier. Yeah, go but let's look around first. And I got a little head cold. Excuse me, so I might sneeze a couple of times. As far as with the AFC South, like I said, I just think overall, Houston is your best bet to win that division for sure. Won it the last 2 years. I think CJ Stroud will continue to get better. Alright, I'm just making sure we ain't missing anything. That's all. But I think we alright. Get up here. Okay, I think this is about where we left off at. And again, you know, still early in the game, so you're going to see a lot of tutorials. Okay. It's another one. A little, but like I said, I played the first now 5 chapters. I'm on chapter 5 right now. This is chapter 2, so I played through this already. So like I said, things will be smoother. But I didn't get the chance to talk about the NBA Finals. Wonder what you guys think. You know, is Indiana destined to win this thing? I'm starting to really think so. I said it probably a round or 2 ago with them. Oklahoma City is clearly the best team, but Indiana they have a game plan and they just execute their game plan. They stick to their formula and it's worked. And it got them this far, so I think they got a real good shot to win this thing, especially now, because they still got home court, so. Oh, we gotta collect the gold first before they let us use. This is the first time, see, I'm confused. Find all the gold first. There we go. Alright, now we can use it. But I think I was watching some sports media today, you know, Tyrese Halliburton saying, you know, basically clapping back at the media about how they basically underestimated him. See, I'm gonna focus on the shield first. So I think I'm gonna buy this. Because the weapons, first of all, they cost more. And then you get weapons as you progress through the game. So according to this wheel, was that 2, 4, 6? Even though I think the last Doom game I played, it was probably over 10 weapons. So, alright, so let's continue on. But to go back to the finals, I think OKC is the best team for sure, but But I honestly just think, other than SGA, I think the rest of the players are inconsistent. Like they don't, they have a good game one day and then struggle the next. So I think that's the issue. It's a quicker turnaround. The game 4 is tomorrow. It's not 2 days off. Yeah, these things. Yeah, those days is annoying. Those demons, they just showed. Guess they about to fight something. Oh, wait. I usually just shoot them. If you're not careful with a charge, you see how much damage caused. But I said OKC and 6. I'm gonna stick with that prediction. Sorry about that. But game 4, well, it seemed like every game was like a telltale sign of the series. But you say that after game 1, you say that about every game, basically. But I really believe whoever wins this game is going to win the series. If OKC wins, I think they go back home, go up 3-2, and then I just think Indiana not going to win 2 in a row to win the title. If Indiana wins, I don't see OKC winning 3 straight to win it. They might get 2. They might get to game 7, which don't make sense because they have home court. But I just think Indiana's, to me, got that respect that they ain't going to lose 3 in a row. So game 4 is huge. But I think the winner will be the winner of the series for sure. But if Indiana wins, I'd be wrong as far as how long the series is going to go if, let's just say, OKC does force a game 7. I'd be wrong about that. So, at least. So. So, I think, yeah, game 4 is going to be huge. Swinging this series for sure. Either way. Alright. Okay, here goes some armor. So hopefully, like I said, the stream don't crash like it did the last time. Okay, how do I get in here? I can remember. Oh, I still gotta kill something else. Look at all this gold. Traders. Got the card, so do need that. As I said, there you go. Alright, guess it's time to fight. I use a shotgun. Whoa. Okay, got him. Yeah, they come at you hard. And they get stuck in the corner. Not good either. Okay, we alright. Here go to Shrine again. Let's see if we can afford something. Still no. Alright. Should have looked up and saw 41. Yeah, ain't nothing under 50, so. Alright, so. Like they already got in here already. Okay, go back to that. Here we go, down we go. Oh boy. Here we go. Oh, that's why I was saying, I got no health. Oh. Oh, it's a corner. Never good to get stuck in a corner on this game. Got here. That was a little intense for a minute, but we got through it. So, say about noon tomorrow, I have up a poll for the AFC South. Who win that division? You can vote for the AFC North and the NFC North now. So, all on my community wall right here on the Side Sports Gaming channel. So go vote. We'll put up polls every week until we finish all 8 divisions. So go check that out as well. And like I said, I just want more people to comment more. I mean, that's been happening more also. Because I like to Not necessarily me. I just like to hear other people's opinions. Because I'm a good listener. I like to listen to everybody's opinions. Sometimes it might make me see a different side. So I definitely don't mind interacting with you guys. So even if the channel grow bigger, that'd be one of my main focus, is to try to talk to everybody. You know, because I feel like that as when I watch other channels, you know, I do like it when they comment. Oh, okay, so this is another weapon.
It'd be a long time, right? So,
I think this is an accelerator. Basically, it's like a submachine gun.
It'll be after the New Year.
And this is probably, so far, my favorite gun of the game.
I don't remember this whole.
Yep.
This is.
Even though when I played Chapter 5, I just found this other weapon that is also a plasma weapon that I like also, but I've used this one a lot, so I like this gun. So.
Let me get that bang out. I thought you couldn't open it with the back.
One day, I ain't never pay attention to this. I found another, don't ask me how to pronounce it, but basically a continue. That's what I'm gonna call these things. Alright, good. We doing good. That's why I'm glad I played this ahead of time. I'm gonna try to stay on for at least 2 hours, so we could get to a place I ain't never played before. Okay. Alright, so now we gotta throw the shield at that. And climb up.
Unsure about was whether or not using the blood spike in the game had helped him level up quicker. There was no way for him to tell, as there was no experience bar for his skill. The second building that had come out of it was the EXP he had used to gain the same amount of would have had to play the game for days when that walked up to the dead beast on the floor.
More gold. Oh, action already. Where we gotta go? Okay, up here. So I hate when it's all this extra life and energy. I mean, armor. And that's a habit of mine. I gotta stop doing that charge move. It's not good with the bigger demons to do that. Look, some more goals over there. Alright, so next time we get to a shrine, we might be able to afford something. But overall, just an opinion about the NBA also. I think it's in a good play. I think this is the most parity I've seen the NBA in my life. I don't think. I think this would be. I think what they said. The last back-to-back champion was the Warriors in what 16, 17, and then they lost at 18. But since then, it's been a different champion for the last like 5-6 seasons. So, in my lifetime, even though in the 80s I didn't really watch sports yet, I was a little kid, but it was basically dominated by the Lakers and the Celtics. Then the 90s, after Detroit in the late 80s had they back-to-back championships. And then the Bulls came with Mike, and they won 6 out of, they won 6, 2 3-peats, and Houston won 2 in a row. So it always was a team you just was sure, okay, unless injuries or if they break up, they go to win. Then you had the Lakers, the early 2000s, Lakers, Shaq and Kobe Lakers. Then it was sort of, then it was the Spurs here and there. In between that, it was Spurs, and then 2010s, when the Heat formed with LeBron, they won 2. Even though, like I said, I think that team and the old and the Boston team, the Pierce, Garnett, and Allen, I think that team. And I'll tell you why I say I don't want to overrated might be a strong word, but I just think that that team only won 1 title. I mean, but I just think they put up there too high. Like, far as like, now that team that won a title, I guess you could compare them to any team that ever won a title. I give them that, but far as like a dynasty and all, sometimes they put in that category. No, I don't agree with that. And that Heat team underachieved as well. They probably should have won at least 3, even if it wasn't back-to-back. Because really the Spurs should have won 2 straight during that run. The Dallas loss was a big loss. Shrine here. Let's see if we can afford something. Just for melee and gun. Let's look at the guns, because I do like the accelerator. Still short, so only thing is the combat shotgun. Yeah, I do like the incinerators. I'm gonna go ahead and buy that. It costs more damage. Alright. But really, after that Heat team, then the Warriors. Even though the Warriors built that team from scratch, almost, basically through their draft. But when they added Durant, that got, but even that team underachieved because they had a lot of injuries. The year that they did lost to Toronto, so overall, that's been sort of the last dynasty. But a lot of people pretty much think the Warriors are done as far as winning a title. Like this year, they went for it with Jimmy, which I agree with. But Steph, I guess my thing is with the Warriors, my interest now is to see, how long Steph continue to do what he's doing.
An example of this would be those who can kill high-level beasts and obtain their crystals to make weapons, while the others too weak to complete a task such as this.
Like, that's my only interest with the Warriors, honestly.
Of course, the families hated the idea of the military spying on their children.
Okay, we gotta go help somebody.
Do we know which students have gone through the portal? Nathan asked as he picked up his tablet and started to listen. The first one is the student by the name of Wynn Taylor.
Okay, we had this. I think I remember this. I didn't see that. Okay, took some damage. Can't climb ladders, even though that looked like a ladder to me. Back up here. Oh, maybe it's a secret. More steps here. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, a habit of doing that. Alright, gotta get out of here. I think I've been in here before.
This whole time he
Alright, here we go. Okay, it's the first time we do the jump with the shield, so they let me know how.
With several broken crates and scrap metal piles all over the place. With only one entrance, he had no choice but to fight. His skills fared well, even though he only had the level of 1 Earth ability.
Yeah, my brother sent me a message because I put something on social media, you know.
He managed to dodge the rat's attacks at the right time and slice at the beast. The only problem was the rat's skin was tough and Borden's powers were weak. He didn't have monster strength and could only rely on the ability
to promote this stream, and I use one of Key Glock's you know, little instrumentals, as they say. But I mean, only like some of the music, honestly, most of the music I listen, you know, especially if it's modern. I don't listen to a lot of modern music. I don't listen to a lot of music at all. But that song in particular, that song was on, I want to say one of the video games. I'm trying to think of what game. I think it's NBA 2K21. So, like most of the games, it'd be from sports games. They have a real good soundtrack. Like the MLB The Show 24 soundtrack, that's probably one of the best ever. Like, it's not a song on there that I don't like. Or I'd be like, what the hell? Even with any type of music, you know, even, you know, all types of music. So, but yeah, I think that song, I think I heard on NBA 2K21, I believe. Okay, so, oh, now I'm just over here, right? I guess okay.
Did you really have to go that far? Borden asked. That cheeky little crap ruined our body.
Melee, let's see.
Rayton then stood up from the chair and allowed Borden once again to sit in the glowing light and the chair. Borden then proceeded to carve out the beast crystals from the 2 rats and place them in his trouser leg pocket. It would have been a waste after defeating just to throw them away. But just as Borden finished extracting the beast crystal, the sound of clanging was heard from behind.
Alright, what's the shields?
He turned around to see what it was, and to his surprise, it was a fully grown adult man. He had emerged from just behind one of the crates.
Yeah, go ahead and figure that.
The man said with his arms lifted up, although the man quickly put his hands down and started to place his hand around his ribs. Just from looking at him, Borden could tell straight away the man was a traveler and skillful on that. The equipment he was wearing was at least at the advanced tier beast level, and he had armor all over his body, including 2 short swords on his back.
Alright, so,
The man then sat down on the ground, and the rest lent his body up against one crate.
something in there?
Borden walked over to the traveler cautiously.
Looks like it.
It was rare to even meet a traveler in this type of place, and who knew what the man's true intentions were. Someone had to be at least a decent skill level to be asked to enter a
Alright, let's go ahead and go.
Don't worry, I will wait, the man said. What's a kid like you doing in a place like this? I didn't know the military was that desperate. Like this. I got stuck here.
Portal.
And I
Okay, yeah, that was about to get crazy a little bit. Hold on, let me reply to my brother real quick. Okay, well, just a little preview of next week. NFL Roundabout Series, NFC South. Another, like I said, the NFL is just interesting because you really, now they talk about parity, you really don't know, you know, the South is not really a team that you could say, all right, put a pin on it. I think the only divisions you could sort of do that with is still the AFC West with the Chiefs. I think Denver's right there if Bo Nix improves. I do think the Raiders and the Chargers are not slouches either, but I think the Chiefs still are clearly the best team in that division. No question. AFC East, Buffalo Bills, and I think even though Cincinnati is would be a tough team to deal with, but I still think their defense is so inadequate that the Ravens still is the best team in that division for sure. And I said it about the AFC, they're the 3 top teams. The South, even though Houston, I still think Houston. I would put my money on Houston, but I wouldn't be shocked if either Jacksonville or if the Colts, if A-Rich turns the corner, I think they have potential. Because the Houston, 10-7 is a good record, but that's still not far away. You know what I'm saying? So, NFC Eagles, even though they got stiff competition in a division, but I just think the Eagles is clearly the best team, really in the NFL still. So that's the NFC East. West is wide open to me. Even the Rams, I would put my money on the Rams today. But the Niners, they had a lot of injuries. They're going to be healthy. I like Arizona, just Kyler Murray, but I just still think they might just be short. Seattle is a question mark. Sam Darnold, we'll see what he can do. He resurrected his career in Minnesota, but he did fall off the map at the end of the season. So, but I think that division, sort of, you just don't know. Even with the Rams, even though I like Matthew Stafford, but just not 100% sure about that division. Okay, so that's West. So we said NFC East. North, like I said, we already talked about the division. I would say Detroit, but Green Bay is capable. Chicago is capable also, but it's a long shot. I mean, it depends on things. But I think they have the talent to do it. Minnesota, to me, we just don't know about J.J. McCarthy. So that division not 100%, a lot for Detroit to win it. But I would put my money on Detroit. And we already touched on the South, which is another division that's sort of wide open. I would say Tampa. I think Tampa just the most steadier team. I think Baker Mayfield is an underrated quarterback. Atlanta, now it's Penix Jr.'s team, so we'll see what he does this year. The Saints losing Derek Carr hurts them a little bit, but they drafted young QB, so we'll see if they pan out. The rest of the team is solid. I like how Carolina finished the season, so we'll see what they do this season with Bryce Young. And I think they was ready to be impatient with him, but he turned the corner at the end of the season, and I like what he did. So we'll see what they do. And who we missing in that division? Tampa, Carolina, New Orleans, and Atlanta. Yeah, we touched on everybody. Okay, so yeah, I think the only divisions to me I would say is 100% certain what the division winners are is the AFC East, because I don't think New England and the Jets, I think, have a lot of question marks. And Miami also, I think Miami is capable of winning that division, but just the history with Tua, and then, basically not winning big games, and not just necessarily because of the cold weather. I was going to bring that stat up, but I just think I'd be shocked if Buffalo don't win that division. I'd be shocked if, I'm going to say, my Ravens, as a Ravens fan, don't win that division. And Kansas City, I think, if they don't win. So all in the AFC. I think the NFC, just because the Eagles are champions and how the league strong in the Eagles, I would say the Eagles in the NFC. But I think all the rest of the divisions in the NFC, you have no idea. I ain't going to say no idea. I know if I would say Detroit, like I said, but it's still question marks about the Lions, defense, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think I'll put 100% on Buffalo winning the East in the AFC, Ravens winning the North in the AFC, and the Chiefs winning the West in the AFC also. The South, Houston, like I said, I strongly feel good about Houston, but I think the Jags have a potential. I think the Colts have the potential. NFC, like I said, Eagles, I'm just going to say I'd be shocked if they don't win that division. Washington, I saw, like I said, I think they had a good season, but I still saw flaws in them, so I want to see how they come into this season. Dallas, like I said, they still address the running back position, so I think even though they got the receiver from Pittsburgh, his name ain't coming to me. George Pickens. Even though they got him for Lamb, which I think is great, but I still think you got to have some type of running game. And their defense has shown promise, so. Hey, then the Giants are the Giants, but then like I said, we mentioned the South, we mentioned the West, so so really those 4 teams, I feel like I'd be really shocked if they don't win their divisions. Now everybody else, if the Rams fall short in the NFC West, I would be surprised if it's San Francisco with their experience. Or someone else. And the AFC only division, I think it is not wide open, but I think that has shot is the East. The South. I think Houston could be had. But I feel real strong about Houston winning the division. So. I just think Houston, like I said, if I said it was 4 top teams in the AFC, they would definitely be 4th. But I still think they're a tier behind, like I said, which I've been saying all week and all through this process, that it's Baltimore, it's Buffalo, and it's Kansas City. Then it's a drop-off after that in the AFC to me. So. That's my little rant, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, go to my other channel, check out my shorts, which if you want to pick a specific team that you just want to hear about, the NFC and AFC North are done, and now the AFC South is done, and then the NFC South will be done next week. So, a team a day starting Monday. So Monday, if we go alphabetical order, Carolina Panthers will be talked about on Monday. So check that out. Depending on my work schedule, hopefully I can do a regular sports blog. I hope so. If so, then we'll talk about it. So,
in that time. 100 experience points gained, 1140 and 1600 EXP. As Quinn looked at the back of the building, he could see a small hole in one of the corners.
so sorry I paused the game. I just didn't want to be distracted, so I'm just going to talk randomly now. Now this part gonna be a little intense. I played this. Now this part is memorable. So many enemies everywhere. So, yeah, I mean the charge. I mean, get some armor, get some health. Other sports news or MLB. Like I said, with my blog, you know, I just touch on it. But these things are coming. But I'm glad the live stream doing good so far. Like I said, we had issues. Was we an hour in yet? No. Let's use a shredder. Oh, sorry. Okay, they can, basically, it's almost like the boss. Ran her down. Uh-oh. Watch it. Uh-oh. Gotta watch it. Oh, look, we gotta get that. Got it. Ah, we died. Should we use it? Yeah, come on, let's go ahead. Got to. case when you fall off a cliff, that don't really affect you either. Alright, that upgraded our health. But yeah, that was a tough one. Now this next level gonna be kind of quick. Should be, anyway. So we are about lonesomes, but that's cool. I think I'm gonna do a lot of well, I say a lot. Another live tomorrow. How about either do Call of Duty? It's gonna be either Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, obviously. Pacific Drive, which I need to play that game more, or Forever Sky. It's gonna be one of those three games. Probably the same time, you know. Probably around the same time. I just think trying to stream during the day is tough. I don't know if it's the signal. I really don't know. But, you know, earlier it was unfortunate. I wanted to at least stay on for 2 hours. So, we're about an hour in here. So, try to do at least another hour. But we on chapter 3. This chapter's quick, as long as I don't mess up. This chapter's pretty quick. Sorry about the background noise. You know, brother messing with me. That's cool. Basically, if you're a Power Rangers fan, this probably be the part that you want to watch. Basically, about to get the Megazord. So those big demons I mentioned, we're about to go at them right now. In the Megazord.
Engines online. Established.
you see the controls there. So, about to see that in action. Yep, easy enough, right? But let's see. I don't follow the WNBA a lot. To be honest with you, even at the height like last season, of course, was probably the most popular year with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark coming into the league. Mostly Caitlin Clark, to be honest. Yeah, I hit that time.
If the core explodes, the city goes with it.
Every time you see green, that's what you do. You stuff. I didn't do it right that time.
Dimensional barrier is shutting down. We can't stop it now. How long do we have?
Not long. The reactor has sustained heavy damage.
All Titans ahead. Support team, deploy weaponry.
Incoming.
Another new weapon.
Barrier is approaching the core.
The barrier is critical. Relay overloaded.
We need to pull everyone back.
So they almost done this part already. Like the last part of it. So stream is going smoothly. We over an hour. We good.
Needs to evacuate now.
He's trying to save the city. Player, there's a strip mine nearby. I'll mark it for you. Let's check them disappearing from later on.
What we do? Whether it's strong or put down. But I got a feeling later on in the game, if I had to do this again, it's going to be much tougher.
Tracking the player for evac now.
That's basically the last part right here. I ain't never died before. I messed up. Like it. I don't know what happened. First time.
dimensional barrier is offline. Demonic activity is surging. The Queen has requested an immediate report.
Return to the Sentinel barracks.
That does sound good. Still in this chapter, well, still another cutscene.
I did as you asked. Now please, let her soul be at peace.
And the heart of origin.
You see it in the chamber. I told you I cannot open it. You can.
So yep, that was the end of that chapter. So move on to the next one.
One word. Yeah.
Sentinel Barracks, this is a little crazy chapter here, but here we go.
A distress signal was sent. We've tried contacting them. No response. We've tried contacting them.
But it is an artifact of immense power.
Mahad Argent, discovered in AR-722. An artifact said to contain the soul of the last ring. Powers and origin unknown.
Assemble the guard.
Gonna go with the accelerator to start us.
Demons in the north wing. Valen, with the Slayer guarding the barracks, we'll take the airships. Rally at the priest signal.
All 3 U.S. citizen cops stood by watching happen. But you don't give a fuck about that, right? You want to talk about, protest! And you don't want to deal with what the situation is. It's racist as fuck. It was designed by racists, plantation slavery.
Humans have entered the facility.
Designed in 1787. 21-year-old slave. A lot of people portray this as person. Couldn't drink from the same water. Couldn't worship in the same church. Asians were in internment camps. Women were second-class citizens. They couldn't vote. They couldn't have no full divorce until the 1980s.
Tell you about mission challenges.
Every goddamn demographic in this country, it doesn't look like
Of course, this is the easier one, so I pinned it, but you don't have to pin them. It still counts, whatever you do. Oh, I think this is a new weapon. Skull Crusher.
And the President of the United States, the clan leader, said, take off your white hood. It's okay. You'll be Bob living in your
But pretty much every time you get a new weapon, they sort of give you a sort of a tip tutorial. Say no this time. But they're kind of messing up. Alright, so we got out of there. I'm gonna go. Matter of fact, oh, far first then. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. right back. Okay, back. We back. This big guy out of here. Hey, I know this spot. Wow, okay. Okay, this was the other side that, yeah. Okay. See, I know I wasted some time. I'm a little under the weather, so I apologize. Huh. There's some more gold up there. Go. All right, we got it.
Energy detected.
That was a close call. Yeah, sorry again.
There's a path through the tombs nearby.
Well, secrets. check it. Ain't nothing significant. Guess not, so let's move on. Okay, the reach is longer. Let's see what the melee is. Not right now.
You need more chip?
Huh?
Are you gonna eat?
No, not right now, no. No.
For the period? Or?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Okay. That sounds interesting. Oh, that was good. Let's see. Let's try to. Whew. Tough choice. Go with this. I can't even remember this. So I think I'm gonna finish this part, then I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. So we ain't gonna get chapter 5. But maybe like I said, we're gonna do 11 live tomorrow. Maybe we'll get into it. I gotta work in the morning, so I think I just wanna relax. Get it. Might be correct there, I got it. snap. Chaos. No, about this area. Yeah, no ammo at all.
The bridge to the Dragon's aviary.
This thing. Hold on, be right back. Alright, thank you again. We're gonna go ahead and try to finish this part and then we're gonna get out of here. Tempted to buy that. I think I will wait. again.
Near the Slayer's launch pad.
Alright, y'all, that's it for me tonight. Chapter 5. Next time, maybe tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do a different game tomorrow, but depends on how the vibe is with this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Our Troy said thank you so much. Peace and love always. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out of here. Thanks so much.